Today, Chillpoint spills the tea on the games industry. This is Chillpoint. Whoops! Oh Jesus!
I don't even have tea. I just have an empty can of blackberry bubbly.
Oh,
Chillpoint spills the blackberry. It doesn't work the same.
No, it really doesn't. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing out there on the incredible edible internet?
it's so warm in this coat.
Is it edible?
Probably.
Yeah, Beach, you notice we're not wearing coats.
Yeah,
Jackets.
I know, right?
We've lowered the tone of the whole thing to the point where you don't need to wear a jacket.
I need to have some veneer of respectability left in my life.
I don't know that the coat's going to bring you there, but
I bet you change your t-shirts every day.
I do actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose if you're wearing the coat to cover something worse, then sure.
Oh no, this is I put on a brand new t-shirt every time I do Checkpoint. Then I remove it and I go put on my house shirt.
How often do you wash the house shirt? Don't answer that question.
Yeah.
Why ask questions you don't want the answer to?
When we were booting up, Paul said that the chat was talking about AC, and I said, "Now, is that Animal Crossing or Assassin's Creed?" Oh, wait, no, or is it air conditioning? And it turns out it was air conditioning.
Yeah.
Don't mind everyone's in PJ bottoms. I'm not in PJ bottoms because I don't wear pajamas in the summer, but I am wearing incredibly comfortable pants.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those could be used as pajamas?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Speaking of tea, I've got my coffee pu'er here, which is one of my favorite teas. I highly recommend checking out. I don't know if you can get it anywhere that isn't David's Tea, but
it's not coffee, but it's got coffee in it.
It's pu'er tea with coffee beans in it.
So it's a blend of coffee and tea.
Doors open. You're right.
That's right.
Right? Okay. That's got to make some people angry.
I don't know. If it does, then I'm sorry for you, I guess.
Yeah.
TXE2 said they make comfortable pants. They do. These are from Uniqlo, and they're jeggings. They finally made jeggings for men. They look like jeans, but they're sweatpants. It's amazing. The technology.
Actually, speaking of coffee, so last week was the PPR. We did the PPR, and that was also like the first time I've gone into the office for months, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird, hey?
Certainly to work. I've gone in there a couple times to like pick something up or do a little bit, but to actually go in there and work for an extended period of time, it's the first time I've gone because I was setting up all the stations at the office.
That was not last week. That was Monday. It's Thursday.
But last week is when I went into the office.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
To set stuff up, and because we were setting up for that for like a couple days.
A few days, yeah.
And also, coincidentally, Starbucks has started to open up around here.
Oh.
And as is my wont, when I was going into the office, I was like, I'll pick up a coffee. Because like that combination of like going into the office, picking up a coffee on the way into the office, and like starting my day that way was something that like I used to do so much. And I really miss, like, it's one of those things that you really miss when you're stuck inside for a long period of time.
I enjoy the ritual.
Yeah, the ritual of it. And so I was like, this is great. I can go to Starbucks, pick up coffee, go in a thing. And I noticed that the 2 days that I went into the office, those nights, I barely slept at all. And so I was totally wrecked the next day. And I was like, what the hell is happening? Is this just like a random coincidence? Is there something at the office that's messing me up? And it took a disturbingly long amount of time to realize that, oh, hey, I don't habitually drink coffee when I'm at home. I don't have a coffee maker at home. I drink tea, but I don't drink coffee. And the drink that I habitually get at Starbucks is a venti cold brew, which is that's a lot. Like, it's not only a venti, but cold brew tends to be a little more caffeinated than regular coffee, and that's something that I used to drink all the time, but I haven't drunk for 3 months.
And you're like,
And it turns out that my body is not, I think, so my assumption is that my body is no longer equipped to deal with that amount of caffeine. And
hey, so 3 months into the quarantine, did you have a spate of headaches for a week that you couldn't explain?
I mean, so yes, but I've been drinking coffee the whole time.
Okay.
so anyway, that was it. Like, it took like the second, it was like, I was like halfway through the second day of having basically not slept at all the night before, and just be like, ugh. And just being like, okay, this cannot continue. Like, what the hell is happening? It took me surprisingly long to be like, wait a minute. The two things that are different is I went to the office and I went to Starbucks and I got a giant coffee. One of these things is probably more likely to have affected my sleep than the other. So anyway, but end result was that we got to do the setup at the PPR worked out great. So yay for that.
That all went very well.
And welcome to Chillpoint. I decided to tell that story because apparently the standard thing for Chillpoint is to spend a little bit of time at the beginning talking about just whatever.
I mean, that's the chill part.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's what makes it chill. So.
Also, I apologize that my camera quality has gone back down again. Although, if you notice, Graham's camera quality has gone up.
Oh shit! I haven't even looked at mine.
It's because he stole the power cable from my camera to use on his camera.
We have 3 power cables that will power a DSLR from a wall port, and 2 of them are in the card reader cameras that are attached to the ceilings at the office. So the easier one to get was the one that Paul had at home. So I had James drive it over here on the morning of the PPR so I could not have to run this camera off batteries all day.
Anyway.
So, yeah.
Video game news.
James' camera quality has gone up. It technically has gone up. I don't know. I know I'm sending...
At the moment, it is varying in resolution slightly, but such as
my camera, or just because of the whole stream.
That's
a Google,
like the Google Meet thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes Google Meet is like, you know what, this person deserves to be lower quality.
It's got more even color and tone, and a very nice lens on it, which could go super wide if I wanted to, and I don't. But anyway,
I appreciate that you changed the lights behind your TV to be red to match the CheckPoint style.
Yeah, I do them red. I do them red for CheckPoint and blue for basically all the other loading ready run stuff. And then Kathleen likes them white for her show. Even though I tried to do it, like I tried to make them like teal to sort of go in with the branding of Brave New Faves, and she was like, I don't like that. So,
It's something
That's just
it's something we found out from doing stuff on the loading ready for like AFK and loading ready run set or the live set where we have the LED lights behind, is that at least with those LED lights, and for a lot of things, just the combination of the LEDs and cameras is like blue and bluish toned colors work the best.
They just look better. They pop more on camera.
Some colors just totally disappear on camera.
Yeah, for a period of time, I think they were trying to do like a sort of an orangey brown on Tinker Tailor, and it just kind of, if you could even see it, because in some cases you just couldn't see it because it didn't show up brightly enough. If you could see it, it just looked kind of like ass. So it's like, look, just go with white.
Well, also the curtain in the back of the AFK set is kind of
is also blue itself,
so it's like reflecting up. Anyway, let's talk about video game news.
Yeah, so this is I'm sorry, Paul. You have a spiel for what this
Yeah.
show actually is.
So, for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. And if you know our show on YouTube, Checkpoint, this is the process that we go through in order to write an episode of Checkpoint. Throughout the week, we're looking at stories in all sorts of different places to find out all the news about video games, and then find the subset of that news that we can think of funny jokes about. And then we write it all up and produce a finely honed, very professionally made Checkpoint. But something that's kind of fun to do is talk about all the stories we didn't use and also give you a little sneak peek of the Checkpoint that is going to be happening either will be up either tonight or tomorrow morning, which is what we're going to do now. So we'll talk about some of the stories that we didn't actually use in the episode, and also give you a little table read, if you will, of the stories that
Penultimate draft.
Yes, the penultimate draft. Some of these might be tweaked a little bit, but what's as I was saying from last week or in previous weeks is that this new system where we're doing where we actually record the episode after we do the chill point, which is what we started doing with the remote thing, turns out to be quite useful in terms of making sure we actually pronounce things correctly, because we do the table read and then chat tells us that we pronounced it incorrectly, which is handy. Although often they tell us it's pronounced in several different ways, and so and also they say it's pronounced and then just type the word out, which isn't like super useful.
Is the new Christopher Nolan movie pronounced Tenet or Tenet?
I have to assume it's Tenet.
I assume so too. But thanks, Ingsley. It really helped.
All right, they are filling it with
Tenet.
Yeah.
Tenet.
Just gonna go ahead and hide chat.
Yeah.
Ask an honest question.
There was your mistake.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start with the stories for this week's episode of Checkpoint.
You bet.
Right.
This week, the Super Smash Bros. Scene announced a new addition to the roster that is sure to pep up all sorts of matches. So say hello to Slippy. Slippy is the new online multiplayer tool for Super Smash Bros. Melee, offering online matchmaking, tools for tournament organizers, and best of all, it features the holy grail of online play, rollback netcode. We've talked about rollback netcode before. In a nutshell, it predicts future movements based on what you and your opponent are currently doing, and continues to animate the action while it waits for the network to catch up. Hang on. There are 2 lines in here. I'm taking that out. I was wondering why it was so long. Let's try this again. It features the holy grail of online play, rollback netcode. Blah. We've talked about rollback netcode before. In a nutshell, it looks at the game state, then predicts the future, and if it strays from the golden path, it just throws its prediction out and resimulates everything before the players even notice. So why was this so vital? Well, Melee matches have been canceled in this time Wow, what the hell was I doing last night? Well, Melee matches have been canceled in this time of social distancing, and the online multiplayer in the GameCube emulator Dolphin isn't as robust, meaning that Melee matches felt frustrating. So a small group of developers in the Smash community cranked out Slippy, and the reviews from players are nothing but positive. In fact, Melee powerhouse Jason Mewtwo King Zimmerman was impressed with Slippy after testing it for over 9 hours, which sounds great. But I would take it with a grain of salt, because no matter how fun the activity, after 9 hours, I'd say whatever you want just to get it to stop.
I like that you rolled back the story partway through.
I did, yes.
Yeah, it's
Which was not
netcode in the story.
Yeah, not a bit. That just
This is
working with we were writing pretty late last night, and we're all very
I predicted
tired.
the future incorrectly, and nobody noticed.
Exactly.
Nobody noticed.
Such is the power of rollback netcode.
there's actually there's a Because the funny thing is, I saw this story, and there was another story. I'm not sure if I actually marked it as a thing, but there's a thing that happened also this week where a couple of a couple of players in a big Street Fighter tournament
Yes.
quit. Like they didn't. I don't know if they quit Street Fighter, but they
quit the tournament. They said they were pulling out completely.
they quit the tournament and were like, we cannot. I cannot play this. Your netcode is too crappy.
And they were both guys who pulled out were playing against somebody else. This like the same person, and we're saying that we think there's something like this is just not working for us, and so we're just going to quit the tournament because after playing this dude and losing to him, it's clear that there's a problem. And the dude that they lost to is like, I feel kind of shitty about this because it feels like I'm being accused of, of cheating, or I mean, not cheating, but it's like that I have an unfair advantage when he doesn't. They did network tests and stuff, and it was like, apparently the guy has enough bandwidth to be able to do to play the game from home properly. But that doesn't mean that just because you have the bandwidth from home to be able to play it means that your routing is going to be as good as it should be all the time.
Right.
And
I mean,
Street Fighter V has proprietary rollback network code in the game. They're not using what is apparently the gold standard. They're using something they've made themselves.
Yeah. I mean, as you can see, for just anecdotally, Graham over there has
Hi.
a very fast internet connection.
Sure do.
And yet Google Meet keeps dropping his quality a little bit. So it's like, the vagaries of how things go on the internet are not always necessarily immediate. Like, you can't just be like, I have a fast internet connection, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
There was a really neat article, or a really neat video by the people who developed a system called GGPO, sorry, which is the sort of an open source rollback netcode system that a bunch of other fighting games use, like Skullgirls and Killer Instinct and a bunch of other stuff. That is
including
considered
Slippy, in fact.
That is considered to be much better than Street Fighter. And they talk about how difficult this problem is to fix, right? Because you're essentially trying to make things happen faster than the speed of light. Like, you're trying to make things happen faster than they actually happened. And they show a demonstration of what happens when it breaks down. And the interesting thing about these kind of systems is that, unlike in a FPS or something where, or unlike in a lot of online games where the person with the worst connection has a problem, in a lot of cases in this kind of, when you're using this kind of rollback system, the person with the better connection actually is the one who suffers, because the person with the bad connection sees everything fine, and the person with the good connection sees all this jittery movement because their system is having to keep recalculating because it's not getting the packets fast enough. So it's kind of an odd situation where the person with the worst connection actually ends up having a better experience than the person with the better connection. But anyway,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just love that Melee came out 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And now there's online multiplayer, and really good, because apparently Dolphin has its own online multiplayer capabilities, and people have just been like, you can't play Melee with this. It's just not at the levels that pro players are playing Melee. They're just like, this doesn't work. So to have this come out means that now you can do online tournaments with Melee, and probably with other like Dolphin games as well, like games that will run under Dolphin. But it's kind of astounding that it's like, the idea that you can write code, predictive code is a thing that like modern Intel processors do, right? Like they process a whole bunch of different things, and then they throw out everything that doesn't matter because they're like, we have the cycles, we can spare that. And the idea that they're writing software that can say, well, you were walking forward, so I'm just going to continue, tell you to continue the animation for that without thinking you're going to jump or punch or do whatever. But if it turns out that you end up making an input, it's like, oh, throw that away, recalculate and resimulate everything really fast, and we can do it so fast because computers are getting so fast that we can have what that looks like and show you it, and it should feel completely seamless. Like you don't even see that it had to throw away you walking, then like kind of jitter you into whatever.
Yeah.
But like Paul says, it still does happen.
Sorry. Sorry, I
was just gonna say, as Kushinoki says in the chat, what's interesting, of course, is that the actual complexity of simulating a thing for, say, an 18-year-old game like Melee is no different than Street Fighter 5. Like, the fact that a game has better graphics than a different game doesn't actually make the netcode any simpler or better or different, right? It's just like that's largely a local thing. The actual inputs that are being sent over the wire are probably not that different than in a modern game.
Yeah. As an aside, just because we don't have a story about it, speaking of Smash Brothers, they announced the Fighter 1 from the second Fighter Pack for Smash Brothers Ultimate, which they said would be a character from ARMS, and they announced it as Min Min. And what I love about the announcement video is because it's Sakurai in his home, and he's talking about, he's sort of like, we've always done these presentations with me doing this, but of course everyone's physically distancing. I haven't been in the office in weeks, and so I assumed that we wouldn't be doing it that way this time, and I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen. But Nintendo sent me a bunch of gear, and there's this little inset picture that comes up of like a camera and microphone and some lights and things that Nintendo sent over. Is like, so we're doing it this way, and it looks great and sounds awesome. Like, it looks like it was professionally done. And he's like, so yes, this is my apartment, and it's this pristine, exacting place. Like, I hope he cleaned up just for the video, because it's verging on sterile. Right. But and he's like, so here's where I live, and then it cuts to the reverse shot of what he's looking at, which he has this very low, super long entertainment unit filled with every console you could possibly imagine. Like, we're talking back to the Famicom,
nice,
like just everything, and these two freaking enormous televisions, two massive flat screens, and he's like, now, you may be wondering why I have two televisions right beside one another. That's because sometimes I like to watch TV while I'm playing video games. And it's just
can't argue with that.
Like a human being, yes. You are one of us, I see. And he talks about, like having people over to play games, and it's good to have two monitors for that too, but obviously that's not happening right now. So anyway, I just like that a lot. That he's like, now you may be wondering, but that's because I like to watch TV while I play video games. It's like, you didn't need to.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, when I saw the shot, I was like, why do you need two enormous TVs right beside each other? And then he was like, well, like this, like, oh yeah, I would too.
I feel like him having all those consoles like that and the two giant TVs, it's almost the equivalent of like, how like Jay Leno has like his giant like garage filled with all his cars. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's sort of the same thing. It's like, if you're that deep into like the industry and the thing, then it's like, I might as well have everything and have it in the best way possible.
Yeah.
He probably has like a CRT so that he can play old games, how they're properly played.
Which one was that? Also Melee? Or was it Brawl? Which one of the Smash Brothers games do you need CRTs to get the correct experience?
Melee,
okay.
Because nobody gives a shit about Brawl.
Right.
Okay, cool. I hope that people who are playing with like this rollback netcode and everything are also playing on a CRT, just for the additional level of like weirdness.
There's probably lots of like 24-inch Sony Trinitrons, just like reference monitors people have in their houses for this kind of thing.
All right, here's our next story. Fortnite sure has been hosting more and more non-Fortnite events in its surprisingly pliable game world. There was the reveal of actually super relevant plot details before Rise of the Skywalker. There was the Marshmallow concert, that whole enormous Travis Scott fever dream thing. But the latest is just a good classic movie night and marketing promotion. Christopher Nolan's new movie Tenet releases on July 31st, insofar as movies are able to release these days. And as part of the promotional tour for the movie, Fortnite will be screening 3 Nolan movies on a literal screen on the game's Party Royale Island, a place to just hang out and do stuff, like watching movies with kind of a big drive-in feeling, only instead of cars, everyone drives avatars that steal dances from black artists. There are set screening times, and it's drop-in, drop-out, so if you want to see the beginning, you have to be on time. Owing to various licensing deals, players in the US will get to see Inception, while Canada and the UK get The Prestige, and some countries even get Batman Begins, so good news for Bhutan. Fortnite is rapidly turning into a weird virtual hangout hub where players log on to socialize and take in arts and culture with their online friends. And have y'all read Snow Crash? This is the future Stevenson was writing about, but with more digital rights management, and I don't know if that makes it worse. It's really reminding me of the metaverse.
Yeah, that's right. It's what they're pushing for.
You log in with your avatar and you go to a club and you watch a concert in the Snow Crash is a good book.
It is.
Yeah.
I haven't read it in like maybe 15 years. Maybe it's only an okay book, but it certainly is predictive of a bunch of stuff.
It's a great book.
I would argue that it's
probably Neil Stephenson's most accessible work.
I would argue that given how long ago it was written, much like I think Neuromancer, I think it's more prescriptive of a bunch of stuff. That a bunch of guys, read that and were like, I want to have the same thing, and then they made a bunch of money and now are making the thing that they saw in the book.
Yeah, and who was 24/7 Gremlin? Oh, whoa! Weren't there even defaults in Snow Crash? Yes, that was a big thing. Was that you just get the sort of the Barbie and Ken avatars?
Yeah,
you can't afford the cooler avatars.
That was the. I bring this up every so often, but that was the owner of Epic. It's Tim Sweeney, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to get that right because I was confused it with other people, but I think he's on record as saying that he is trying to create that kind of universe, that kind of metaverse thing, so that no matter what you do, you'll always be able to come to Fortnite and you can do anything you want in Fortnite. It's not just going to be a shooter. And this is just more of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like sitting there watching a movie and then just like somebody you think somebody wearing a hat in front of you in a movie theater sucks. How about somebody just like building a house in front of you? It's like, excuse me, could you make your enormous tower somewhere else? I'm assuming they don't allow that in the area, but
yeah. MTG Color Pie mentions Second Life. One of the lower thirds I've already written for this story is Third Life, and Second Life is still going. At least was going for 18 years, I think. Melee
going.
was 18 years ago. Okay, Second Life has been going for a long time, and it's a very, very similar thing. I think I don't think arguable that Fortnite has a wider mainstream knowledge, like more people who don't necessarily interact with it know of it, and it's got probably a wider user base.
Certainly a wider user base, and
also Second Life is super fucked up now.
It's very horny now.
It was always horny, but now
there are like areas.
Yeah.
Nobody writes articles about like, look at all the totally normal things in Second Life.
My understanding was that there was always a lot of horny in Second Life, but that now it is only that part.
Yeah. Whereas there's not a lot of horny in Fortnite.
Not a lot, but give people a chance; they'll figure it out.
But I mean, Fortnite's got the underlying actual game part.
Mm-hmm.
Where
you build a fort and then zombies attack it.
Well, or the battle royale, or whatever.
I know. I was just.
But it's like, as opposed to Second Life, which isn't really like a game. Like Second Life is just sort of a hangout space. And so, for people who don't want to just hang out or whatever, Fortnite has the actual game that you can play.
Actually, now just trying to imagine, because the idea that it's like Second Life said, we're making a space where you can do whatever you want, and everyone's like, we're going to come do that, and then all sorts of things happened, obviously. But it never had like clear direction, because why would it have clear direction? You're supposed to be able to sandbox and do whatever you want. Whereas Fortnite started as a game that didn't do very well, turned into a battle royale, and was kind of like, okay, this is our shot. We start with a defined experience and we widen that experience, and hopefully everybody, goes through the reverse funnel and then can start doing whatever they want at some point. But you got used to it. It's like onboarding, right? It's like a tutorial mode. Fortnite was the tutorial mode for the metaverse.
Yeah.
I mean, the other big difference, of course, is that Fortnite is very tightly controlled. Everything in Fortnite is something that was made by Epic, whereas Second Life is almost entirely user-generated content, which makes it an entirely different proposition. But as a side note, sorry, you were talking about the how to pronounce tenant.
Yeah.
Tenet.
Yeah. There's no second N. It's just Tenet.
Tenet. And so I did a quick Google search for like how to pronounce. And the top result is from the Nolan Fans Forum, a post from when it was announced. Tenet is a super uncomfortable word to pronounce. Am I alone in this? It feels gross to say. It's like you want it to be a longer word, but it cuts itself short, like the opposite of a cellar door, phonetically displeasing.
It is. It's a really
the opposite of a cellar door.
Very tinny word. Tinny. Oh.
I mean, I really like. Yeah, I actually kind of like the way that it sounds, right? Myself, you know how people go on and on about it's like, oh, the worst word in the English language. Not really, but this is what people will be is moist. People don't like hearing the word moist, and they don't like saying moist either. And I really like leaning into the moist part of moist.
I like moist a lot.
Yeah, me too. Right? You know what word I don't like?
What?
Bucolic.
Oh, cellar door is not a Tolkien reference.
You're lucky in the sense that moist probably shows up more often than bucolic.
Yeah, right.
Well, now that I know that you don't like the word, I might try to figure out more ways that I can put it into things.
I don't like it because it means the opposite of the way it sounds. Because it's supposed to be like this beautiful pastoral kind of, relaxing meadows, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, but bucolic, the bu with the k, buke, sounds like puke for one thing, but also there's so much of like the word colic is in it, which is not a really fun thing to have happen. There's like there's so many little aspects of the word that I'm just like, this is not like, there's something wrong with it. I think it's a bad word, I think, and people should stop saying it.
Gravity Pike. So sorry.
Anyway,
cellar door is cited by many people, including Tolkien, but it was not his creation, as a phonetically pleasant, perfect sounding phrase. It was referenced in Donnie Darko, certainly, but that's not where it's from. It was around from
I had not
for quite a
actually
while.
heard that before. It's interesting.
No hard edges on that, actually. Cellar door.
Cellar door.
The duh is the hardest part, and it's like that's not as hard as a T or a K. It's it is not like sellotape, right?
No. Caribou. So I'm just going to keep referencing that Python sketch at this point. All right.
Story.
Yeah, go for it.
2020 has brought us a lot of things nobody asked for, probably the least of which is a Pokemon MOBA. The Pokemon Company revealed its new game, Pokemon Unite, during the recent Pokemon Presents event, and reactions have been mixed. Pokemon Unite looks like a garden variety MOBA with a symmetrical map, multiple lanes, and a 5 versus 5 setup that ultimately doesn't seem that much different than other games in the genre. Seems like a slam dunk for the Pokemon Company, right? So then why has the Pokemon Presents video racked up over 165,000 dislikes on YouTube in less than 24 hours? Why are Pokemon fans this pissed? If you take the temperature from a quick scan of the YouTube comments, a couple of things start to emerge. First, this game is free to start, which isn't the same as free to play. But does that mean we could just buy the game outright and not suffer through constant microtransactions? Nobody knows yet, but hey, don't let that dissuade you from righteous indignation. Second, this game is part of a partnership with Tencent, who a lot of gamers already dislike for multiple reasons, ranging from legitimate, to conspiracy theory, to just straight up racism. It would take a much deeper dive into the comments to suss out the core of the anger, and I don't foresee the Pokemon Company issuing a survey asking why gamers think their new game sucks, so that makes it hard to tell exactly why so many people are mad about getting what could be a fun, interesting twist on Pokemon. One thing this controversy has done, though, is suddenly make Pokemon Cafe Mix look way more appealing.
Counterpoint, Cafe Mix is just a mobile game that you can get on Switch, but you can't actually buy. You can't pay for it. Same problem. There's a premium currency. There's countdown timers. There's energy. As soon as I read that, I was like, oh, absolutely not. The whole advantage to playing a game at home on the Switch is that I don't have to put up with that. You can't even play it in TV mode. Cafe Mix doesn't play in TV mode.
But weirdly, nobody is making a stink about Cafe Mix in the same way that they're...
Damn it.
I didn't actually know that Cafe
You're
Mix...
a man of culture, after all.
I didn't actually know that Cafe Mix was on Switch. Like, I downloaded it on my iPad. I didn't actually realize that it was available in non-mobile form. Because it's clearly a mobile game.
Like, the graphics look awesome. I love it. But I
extremely adorable.
When I was watching the Pokemon presentation, there was one gameplay shot where there was like a heart and a timer or something in the top left, and I was like, "What's that? What is that? That's a mobile. That's like an energy reset. There's going to be some sort of premium currency that you have to pay to be able to actually play your game," and that is the case. Yeah, and it's just
I believe it's a lives thing, not an energy thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, and to be clear, when I say it suddenly makes Pokemon Cafe Mix look way more appealing, I'm not saying it makes Cafe Mix look like a fucking 10 out of 10.
No, I actually agree with you totally.
Yes.
Yeah. The MOBA, it's free to start. The thing is, I mean, it's the same as every other MOBA. Like, that's what League of Legends is like, right? League of Legends is free.
Yep.
Unless you want to buy champions, in which case, you know.
But can you play the free to start? To me, free to start would imply that you have to pay at some point.
Free to start is a term that Nintendo has used before in two other games. They've used it for the Pokemon Picross game that was on the 3DS, and for Super Mario Run.
Free to start is demo, right? Like that's what we like. It's you get the beginning part of the game, and then you have to pay for the rest.
Yeah, and you can play that same part over and over and over again. There's no time limit to that. It's like you can continue to play that. You continue to play other parts of the game if you want. But if you want to have all of the levels, or you want to have all the characters, you want to have all those things, it's like if you're willing to pay more money, then you can buy the game outright, $10 for Mario Run, I think it was, and then you're done. It's like I have purchased the thing, and I don't have to keep putting in little bits of money here and there. Pokemon Picross was built on a model of no matter what, you'll only really end up spending $40 on the game, because the moment you spend $40 on the game, it's like, oh, you just unlock the game. The game is now, we've seen that you spent $40 on it, so we're just going to unlock the game and you can play everything now without having to wait for refills and stuff. And so whenever I see a Nintendo game specifically that says this is free to start, I'm like, at some point, you're probably not going to make us pay money for this. But now I start to wonder if that's actually true or not. And Tencent isn't programming this. They are partnering with the Pokemon Company to publish this. Well, this is being made by a different company, but
it's being made by a Tencent in-house developer.
Oh, okay. It is an in-house developer.
Yeah,
then.
Team Mini, I think.
Yeah, Teamy?
Teamy, sorry, yeah.
Teamy,
but but they are a Tencent in-house company
Okay.
or group, rather. Yes. So
That's the complicated thing about publisher programmer relationship.
yeah.
I was thinking about the Pokemon MOBA. Maybe the only situation where you can have a MOBA that has more different heroes than League of Legends.
So I think that as someone in chat pointed out, that some of the pushback is probably because they did their Pokemon Presents last week, and then they were like, and we have got more to share in a separate thing next week. So people were like, but you just announced a new Pokemon Snap. What amazing, massive, cool thing could you be delaying to its own presentation? So people amped themselves up.
Right.
Which is not to say that the Pokemon Company is not at fault for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but
maybe
faulting a game for what it isn't is a little weird. Yeah.
Well,
yes.
there is apparently there's kind of a long-standing thing in the Pokemon gaming, the video gaming community. People want a Pokemon MMO.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, give us a Pokemon. Here, write this down. What's that? Give us a Pokemon M-O.
I already wrote down M, but I won't write it down again.
No, stop. A. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. It's gotta suck, like, to be a developer for this MOBA, right? And so like after last week, they're like, oh, we have something special next week. And so you're sitting there being like, people are gonna, that was, you're like, what the announcement is going to be, and you know that people are going to get and you're like, this is not a good way to announce this game. This is it's like, I've been working on this game for 2 years, and now it's going to like start on the wrong foot because they kind of built up an expectation for, it's like if you're the developer behind the mobile Diablo game, and you're just like, we made a good game. It's not our fault. It's not Diablo for PC. That wasn't the game we were making.
The video that they showed of like all the gameplay where they played like a tournament or whatever was like not particularly gripping. I don't know if you watched it.
I had to look at the teaser and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what these are.
Yeah.
I've never played a MOBA in my life, so
they had the guy from the Pokemon Company as the captain of one team. Not that there's captains, it's just 5 players, but he was like, I'll be playing with, and then they had 4 Japanese content creators. They had like a idol/talento lady and a YouTuber and a Pokemon champion of a Pokemon game that I can't remember the name of, and like a fighting game, Pokken. Thank you. And someone else, and then the other team was, I can't remember who's in charge of it, and then a bunch of developers from Pokemon Company International. So they were all speaking English, and then it was being commentated on. But of course, the commentary had to be translated, and you know that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company tend to use very even, not particularly emotive translators to get all their information across. And so you're watching this gameplay with like, oh, now we see that the Snorlax is going to be used heavy.
It's like golf.
Heavy slam here. It was just not very exciting. Yeah.
Could you hear like the Japanese commentary sounding really exciting in the background?
More excited than that. Yeah, it was very dry.
Like, what are they watching? We should watch that show.
Yeah, well, that was my favorite part about watching StarCraft 2 back in the day when I was editing Strip Search. Right, I'd be staying up really, really late until like the GSL would come online, and so I'd be watching the English stream with Tasteless and Artosis doing commentary. But you'd hear, they'd be doing like, they got fairly animated, but you'd hear the Korean announce team losing their minds just coming over the microphones of the English commentary.
It's like the Brazilian, football comment thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. I have this other story I suppose I should do. All right. We always kind of figured we'd eventually be reporting on Microsoft shutting down its Mixer streaming platform. We just didn't think it would be so sudden and poorly handled. But yeah, Microsoft announced earlier this week they were abruptly pulling the plug they were abruptly pulling the plug in a month, and that all their streamers should go to Facebook gaming instead. Microsoft bought Mixer, originally named Beam, in 2016 and quickly positioned it as a competitor to Twitch, gleefully taking up more expo floor space at PAX conventions once Twitch stopped showing up to them, and even going so far as to aggressively headhunt popular Twitch streamers with generous signing bonuses. Tyler Ninja Blevins, who reporters always refer to as Tyler Ninja Blevins, probably because just calling him Ninja makes him sound way too kick-ass, moved to Mixer only 10 months ago. 10 months. August was 10 months ago. And another huge streamer, Shroud, would follow months later. Both contracts rumored to be worth millions. Contracts that have now been bought out and not requiring them to migrate to Facebook, but instead leaving Ninja and Shroud free to stream wherever they want, even back on Twitch. In fact, no Mixer streamers are required to move to Facebook gaming, but any Mixer partners are able to directly port themselves over as Facebook gaming partners. And on July 22nd, Mixer.com will redirect to fb.gg, the very cool and hip Facebook gaming URL. And that's fine for Mixer streamers, I suppose, but having your platform where you've spent years building a following ripped out from under you and being told it'll be easy to rebuild somewhere else is doing a huge disservice to these streamers, especially when Mixer always told them that Mixer was different, that Mixer cared. Mixer didn't tell its streamers ahead of the public. Mixer didn't even tell its employees. They found out when we did. So sweet for Ninja that he gets $20 million or whatever for 10 months of weirdness before presumably making a triumphant return to Twitch. And I mean that. That is great for him. And the fact that he gets millions of dollars and Mixer's employees lose their jobs is not his fault. It's Microsoft's. And Facebook's, I guess. Everyone always raises their eyebrows when we mention Tencent, but Facebook is run by a malevolent robot. But then we stream on Twitch, owned by Amazon, run by the man on track to be the world's first ever trillionaire. And God damn it, why are all the shitty parts of Snow Crash the ones that keep coming true? It's going to be Jeff Bezos presents Cascadia.
Yeah.
Right?
The rumor...
Washington, California.
The rumor is they did try to bring them over to Facebook. In the sense
they were like, you can come to Facebook and keep doing this, or we have to buy out your contract. And they were like, buy us out.
Buy out my contract.
The rumor was that they were offered something like almost like twice as much as what they were given to go to Mixer to go to Facebook, and we're like, no.
Like, I already have millions of dollars. I don't need to be locked into
at this
streaming.
point. Audience is more important than just money.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it's a tough one. I always kind of liked Mixer as a concept. Not that we streamed on Mixer, but the idea of, that we stream here on Twitch, but the idea of there being a legitimate competitor to Twitch, is good for everybody in terms of all streamers, in the sense of competition is good. Like I would expect that Twitch's, latency wouldn't have gone down as fast as it did if it wasn't for Mixer really pushing that as one of their big marketing points.
Because now you had said this is a tangential thing and it's really not important, but I just want to be sure. Paul, you had said that there are rumors that contractors were offered practically twice their contracts to stick around, like to lock themselves back in to go to Facebook gaming instead.
The big acquisitions, not random partners. Yeah.
Is there I'm gonna just be that dude and be like, citation needed? Is there actually something on Gamma Sutra or something somewhere that you could point people to?
Trying to find it right now, actually.
Because it's frustrating. Because it's like, you can say it's rumors. And I'm like, oh, those are rumors. And maybe that happened, maybe that didn't. And I can, take all that with a grain of salt. But I don't want people in the chat to be like, oh, they said that's a thing. I don't want people to be walking away with that was a thing that happened.
The articles that I read in which that was in which they mentioned it as a rumor, sort of as
which
sources,
is good.
As sources say.
Oh, as sources, unnamed sources.
Yeah.
Say interesting. So yeah, definitely take that with a grain of salt.
But yeah, what they did officially say, head of Facebook Gaming, is it's up to them and their priorities, meaning the platform is not actively pursuing exclusive agreements with any of Mixer's big names. So, yeah.
So yeah, sucks sucks for Mixer and sucks for anybody who was streaming on Mixer. I hope you find another place to go, either
It's
Facebook
also
Gaming or here on Twitch or
it's
YouTube
also
Gaming, I guess.
the oh, thank you, JPC guy. I'll check that out in just a second. Also, uh, the way that it was handled on Microsoft's end is there's this blog post by Phil Spencer, and it's like it's so carefully worded to like dance around all the specifics that you want, right? Because it's like Mixer's awesome and it's great and we love everything about it and what we're trying to do. We realize that we can't really, we don't have the resources to really like ramp it up to where we want it to be and where you deserve it to be. So, you know, we've started this amazing new sort of not promotion, but sort of like this new thing that we're starting now with Facebook Gaming. And, you know, it doesn't say, at no point are they like, we've decided to shut down Mixer. They do in the FAQ. They're like, at the
end result of which is we're going away.
Yeah, they're like in July 22nd, Mixer.com will no longer work, but that's like buried in FAQ. There's nothing about like, did Facebook approach Microsoft and go, we want to buy all of that? That like that part is completely obfuscated, and everyone's focusing on, you know, like Ninja, and it's like, well, he just got like $20 million and now he gets to go back to Twitch if he wants. And it's like, yeah, cool, but like, wait, did Microsoft, were they like, F this, we want out? Facebook, you want to buy this? Was Facebook like, yo, Microsoft, let us buy that? Like, how did this happen? What actually happened corporately here?
And I mean, the other thing that I've seen a lot of speculation about is like, what is Facebook buying? Like the Mixer name isn't worth much. All the big names are leaving. Like,
do they need the infrastructure?
Like
I don't think they can buy it.
Like the tech stack, but like Facebook has got to have better stuff than, or at least equivalent already. Like I don't see what they're actually buying. Maybe it's back end. Maybe it's like the actual like personnel acquisition or something.
Like an acqui-hire? Or maybe it's a sense of, it's like, well, we know we can't buy Twitch because that's Amazon, but we know that Mixer's not doing great. So if we buy Mixer, we can essentially shut it down. We can fold it into our own service, and it's one less competitor out there that we have to deal with. Especially if Facebook Gaming is trying to, if they want to make like a really big move to be like, we want to be standing toe to toe with Twitch and with YouTube Gaming because of the size of those platforms. They're like, if we can shut down somebody who's a little smaller than us, it just means that there's more, there's less options for people to go to, and maybe that means we can pull them into our option instead. Because frankly, if you're using Google stuff already, you have a Google account, it seems pretty turnkey to start doing YouTube Gaming. If you have a Facebook account, it seems pretty turnkey to start Facebook Gaming. Is it having an Amazon account would get you into Twitch easier? Because I'm not sure if that's how that works. I think you actually literally have to go and onboard yourself into Twitch. I don't know what the position is on that.
And I mean, I think there is this issue where streaming infrastructure is a very difficult problem. It's a incredibly expensive and incredibly difficult technologically to do, to the point where, you know, you have Amazon, which is the biggest cloud computing company in the world. Honestly, Amazon is a cloud computing company, not a retail company, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They make substantially more money if I think like their actual like selling stuff might even still be at a loss, and where they actually make their money is cloud computing. And you have, like Facebook, I guess, has a ton of servers, and of course Google has a ton of servers, and that's and Microsoft has Azure, so you think that they could also do it, but it's
Yeah.
it's a tough deal.
I
Sorry, BJ, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, they're saying how like Ninja and Shroud can be like, you can go anywhere you want. You can go back to Twitch if you want.
Mhm.
What if Twitch doesn't want them?
Twitch would take them back.
That's the best business move, right? But what if if you were like, nah, fuck those guys because they left, right? Like that kind of
Right.
thing. What if that was the attitude? And they're like, you're not getting a sweetheart contract or like things like that. It's like, it's hard to imagine, but what if it was a thing of like, no, we are mad at these dudes for leaving us, and so therefore we're not going to partner them on our platform. What would that look like?
If
Like,
the WWE,
I can see them not giving them some sort of massive contract, but
Yeah.
I can't see them being like, don't cut, like, we're banning you. It doesn't seem like a thing.
if the WWE can get Bret Hart to come back and everyone would be cool with it, if Vince McMahon is like, if he can be like, nah, the money's more important, Twitch, they don't care, right?
Yeah.
So a couple points. Thanks, JPC, I think it was, who linked to an article where, so this is Rod Slasher Breslau, who's a gaming journalist. And according to his sources, Facebook Gaming did try to entice them over with contracts reportedly worth nearly double the value of their Mixer deals, and they both turned it down. And Slasher tends to have reliable sources, so I'm inclined to believe that, which is wild. They both turned it down, and reportedly, Ninja and Shroud should by now have made $30 million and $10 million respectively from Mixer, which is wild. And also, Ivalens linked to an article that, of course, I'd forgotten about, that Microsoft invested in Facebook in 2007 to the tune of $240 million in 2007, a move that at the time was met with derision, like it was laughable. This is an article on Recode, who they say, for instance, Recode founder Kara Swisher's piece from 2007 called the situation laughable and Microsoft, quote, seriously desperate. But as we all know, Facebook is doing very well. So I didn't realize that Microsoft actually had a literal invested interest in Facebook.
I mean, it's all in. It's a very everything. Everybody has fingers in all the different pots. I'm sure most of them are probably partially owned by Tencent anyway.
Presumably, yeah.
So, other stories that we didn't talk about. You want to know about No More Heroes 3?
Yes.
Well, congratulations. They showed a bunch of gameplay of it. As long as the main thing that you're concerned about is the UI and the area around the actual gameplay. Because they showed a bunch of gameplay of No More Heroes 3, but the way they showed it was Suda51 announced or showed it, and then basically was sitting in front of the screen that was showing the gameplay for the entirety of the thing, blocking most of it with his head, which is an excellent troll move. I appreciate that.
It's a very Suda move.
Yeah. Oh, I hope that he's just like, what? Really? You mean they didn't see the... Oh, I feel stupid now. Oh.
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
Okay. The Tony Hawk remaster, which is Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remastered together with almost the entire original soundtrack. They've said that it will indeed have the original roster, but it will also have, as well as the entire original roster, it will also have a bunch of new, like, current skating stars in the game, and the original roster is going to be in the game with updated scans and graphics of the age they are now. So no one on the original roster is younger than 41, with Steve Caballero topping it at 55. And then there will also be a bunch of like young people in it as well, which is kind of funny.
I think that's cool because it would look very weird if you like took like Tony Hawk and one of the like younger people, I guess like here we go, Shane O'Neill, and had them stand next to each other and they started making out and they were the same age. That'd be really weird.
I think you might misunderstand what kind of game this is, but you're right.
Yeah. Good.
Not only do you misunderstand what kind of game it is, but I don't know if having Tony Hawk at his current age making out with a young
20-year-old
would actually be less disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be honest about, who people are.
So anyway, Tony Hawk in this game will be 52. And nice. Here's the full. So I'm not going to read all the ages, but so the original lineup of Tony Hawk, Bucky Lasek, Steve Caballero, Jeff Rowley, Andrew Reynolds, Alyssa Steamer, Chad Muska, Eric Costin, Rodney Mullen, Rune Blifberg, Kareem Campbell, Jamie Thomas, and Bob Burnquist are back, and will now be joined by Nigel Huston, Leo Baker, Letitia Buffoni, Ari Nishimura, Lizzie Armanto, Shane O'Neill, Riley Hawk, and Tyshawn Jones.
I appreciate, like, of course there's been, jokes about like, oh, it's middle-aged dad simulator skating and all this stuff. But one of the things I always liked about Tony Hawk is that he was never like what you would call he never had a look and a style of like a stereotypical skater. Like he always looked kind of out of place. And like if you just saw him as a random person, you'd be like, if you just saw him at the store or whatever, he would just appear to be, maybe just like an average, maybe like a
kind of just a dude in his 30s that's going shopping for milk.
Yeah, it's just like maybe an office worker or something, and it's like, oh no, he's one of the greatest skateboarders of all time.
I love the stories that he posts about with people like not recognizing or caring who he is. Like he obviously doesn't have any ego about it. Yeah. But the one where it's like he's checking his skateboard, his carry-on, and someone's like, oh, a skateboard like Tony Hawk, and he's like, yeah, and the agent's like, wonder whatever happened to that guy.
Yeah. Or I hear he's going on an airplane at the moment.
Yeah. Or the one that was like, are you Tony Hawk? Yeah. Why?
That's my favorite. That is my absolute favorites.
Yeah. Tony Hawk's existential nightmare. Yeah.
Wow. 90s Tony Hawk looks like he could work for Lure. I don't know how to take that.
It means that I have a fresh old-timers professional skateboarding career ahead of me.
Yeah.
No,
we all look like people who can't skateboard, which is probably accurate. We all look like normal people.
I wonder what he's up to right now. This.
Did you? Shit! I just realized I am older than my father was when he started playing old-timers hockey.
Oh, there you go.
So that's wild to me to think that.
There's still time, Beach.
Yeah.
Did you see that video of the stand-up comedian doing crowd work? He's like, hey, what's your name? And the guy in the audience is like, Zach. He's like, wow, he looked pissed off that I asked him that question. I was like, what's your name? Zach. It's like, oh, let's go to a comedy show with crowd work. Like, oh, it seems like that's his response whenever anyone ever asks him his name. What do you do? What do you do for a living? Like, I direct movies. What? Well, like, what sort of, like, oh, hang on, I might have fucked up. What sort of movies? And then the guy in the audience is like, how many movie directors do you know with the first name Zach? And the guy's like, Zack Snyder? Yeah, that's me. Oh, I made a big mistake. I mean, I could be Robin. Maybe do you need a Robin? I could be a Robin. It was, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like there's like
a picture of them together from after the show, having a laugh about it.
I feel like there's like 3 movie directors I could recognize. Like movie directors are just you don't see them that often.
Yeah, Zack Snyder just looks like some guy. Like,
All right, other stuff.
It'd be better if it was like, hey, what's your name? Werner.
What do you do, Werner?
Oh, I mean, Werner Herzog is actually like I would be like, oh hey, you're from that like movie or TV show, as opposed to you're a director.
What do you do? I simply exist in this human world.
I drift through life, experiencing pain and then transmuting it onto celluloid for others to enjoy.
Cool. Good talk.
So the Oculus.
Yeah, so the Oculus has been I guess a bastion of high quality software. Perhaps
until now.
So they've had the Oculus Store for Oculus Rift VR stuff. The store is quite tightly curated, apparently. How successful that curation is a matter of debate, apparently. But whatever the case, it has been it's fairly tightly curated in terms of you have to get stuff approved in order to go into it, in order to attempt to keep the quality high. And then they decided to not do that anymore, or to allow to sort of have I think it's actually going to be like a separate section. That's going to be a little more free for all. Whatever when
it'd just be like games shrug emoji.
Yeah. Game is so basically, and apparently, like this has been a lot of people are actually quite positive about this in the sense that it stops some of the gatekeeping in terms of apparently there's quite a few games that have been successful on other VR platforms and can't get onto the Oculus because for whatever reason they're not being approved by the store. So this is some way that they can actually so now more stuff can actually get onto it. Of course, as the problem with Steam and all these different storefronts, the balance of curation versus actually getting good stuff and not stuff that is a virus or whatever. So hopefully there aren't going to be a bunch of games or programs that you can load onto your VR system that, I don't know, makes it explode or flash in your face or something terrible.
Screamers.
Oh, that would be bad. I mean,
wouldn't it?
I remember like reading a few years ago about like when VR stuff first came out that like some of the like stuff that people were talking about just sounded like the most horrible game. There was a game that was like the objective of the game was you had to just like hold down 2 buttons on the keyboard. That was the entirety of the game.
Okay.
But the game would then, using the Oculus and like positional audio and stuff, make it sound as if there's like, horrible like bugs crawling on your arms and stuff like basically doing everything it could to make it as uncomfortable an experience as possible to make you want to not push these 2 buttons.
This is the reverse of that thing in the Wii Fitness app where you sit on the balance board and you relax. This is like, I have to sit here and deal with this shit for as long as possible.
Or there was that game that was just like a scary clown pops up behind you at some random interval.
Great.
That was basically designed solely for filming people's YouTube or filming people's reactions on YouTube as they rip the VR system off their head and throw it on the ground and run away.
Whoops! Guess I'm not playing VR anytime soon. Thanks for that. It's interesting because you could used to just be able to sideload stuff, and it just really seems like this is Oculus saying, "Crap, we need to actually get people's money because people are sideloading stuff onto our, they're paying for it somewhere else. They should be paying us for it."
Which I believe they are, like, they're not eliminating the ability to sideload, which is good.
I really do like, though, they say that apps distributed through this new channel won't be held to the same technical standards as official Oculus Store apps.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sounds like
It's
early access. Sounds like any of those kind of things. Sounds like shovelware. Sounds like asset flips. You know,
Don't
like
like it.
it's
yeah.
hard to announce something like that while still kind of trying to not say we're letting crappy games in.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a delicate messaging.
I
it
don't
looks
see
like-
any other way to interpret it.
Yeah, it's kind of like at least though it sounds like because they're saying it's a new channel, it sounds like it's not like we're going to fold all these things into like a single library view, so you're going to see everything at the same time and not know what's good or not. It's going to be like we'll have the section for the stuff that we've approved, and we'll have the section for the stuff that we're just going to let roam free, and you can be on either side. We don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I think would be that hopefully is the kind of curation they're going for, where it's like these are the things we know are good, these are the things that we don't know about because we can't be bothered to review them.
Something I want to talk about that's not on our list actually, but that just popped up
Yeah.
is Kotaku did a deep dive on the character customization options in Cyberpunk 2077.
Which are deep.
Yeah, let me give you a rundown by the numbers here. 6 skin types, 35 hairstyles, 17 eyes, 8 eyebrows, 17 mouths, 17 jaws, 17 ears, 8 bits of cyberware, 9 scars, 6 tattoos, 11 piercings, 5 types of teeth, 8 options of eye makeup, 8 options of lip makeup, 3 blemishes, 3 types of nipples, 5 types of body tattoos, 2 types of body scars, two types of dick, that's 2, count them, 2 different penises,
Yeah, straight and banana, yeah.
one vagina,
Come together under one vagina.
dick size options, and 5 different kinds of pubic hair.
I can't. Okay. 5 types of teeth
Yeah.
is a phrase I thought I'd never hear in my lifetime.
5 types of teeth.
But
And a
what broke me,
partridge in a pear tree.
what broke me was the realization that they have 3 types of nipples, which means that you can't, if they only let you put 2 on your body, you can't have all 3 at the same time.
I don't
think you can
predict-
choose them independently.
Yeah. I imagine they're tied together. And I guess
With a long chain.
I guess we'll find out when that episode of Monster Factory releases.
I remember on I guess it was 18 Games and Counting, Black Desert Online came up as the game we were playing, and it was a week when James was away, and so I was just there by myself playing Black Desert Online, and holy crap, the character creator in that is so far ahead.
It's wild. It's
like,
beyond anything. Yeah.
I remember, and so I was like, hey, let's have some fun doing a character creation, and I immediately got deep into the weeds and was just like, oh no, I'm in trouble. Like there was something like it wasn't that it doesn't beat Cyberpunk in terms of, because it's got like more different types of eyebrows and more different types of mouths. It's on a whole different level. It doesn't have different types of eyebrows and different mouths. It has like 10 different surfaces of the face that you manipulate independently.
Mm-hmm.
So you can create eyebrows and mouths and things. They're working on a whole other, and like the chest has like, a dozen different points of like, you can have like different, so it was just like I got like, I was starting to change stuff, and I was like, I don't know, I can't deal with this. Let's just go default for everything, and just I cannot handle. I don't have a strong enough opinion about how the surfaces of a face to control this.
If anyone's interested, the nudity is optional. Like you can, it's it's disabled by default, and you have to actively, like on the character creation, be like, no, show me the goods. And you can also randomize. And if you randomize, the Kotaku article says that they cycled through the randomized character generator for almost 2 straight minutes before it started giving options that looked similar to ones that had previously happened. And if you when you randomize, it will maintain your genital preference. So if that is
kind of just locks that in, then you pick that initially, and you can be like, okay, well, we'll not.
It doesn't have to be initial, but it's if you randomize it, you can lock that in or not, because then you can change it after the fact, right?
Which I believe that is independently chosen of your gender preference.
Yeah,
which was a thing that they were big on when they were showing it off. Yeah.
I just a friend of ours, Meg, with the tweet, only one vagina option? What, are vaginas too hard to animate now?
I mean, presumably we could have, DLC body parts too, right?
I have to assume that they mean vulva
for special events and things. You could have like a special whatever, Lunar New Year penis.
Ooh, there you go.
That you download.
I assume
Year of the Ram.
I assume you are correct, Beej. Yes. And yeah, the 2 dick options are probably cut or uncut. That seems very likely as well.
That's good, because I was going for grower and shower.
Oh, I thought it would be like, with or without the spikes.
Yeah. Just human and werewolf.
Yeah. I think the rest of the character is human.
It's a very specific kind of lycanthropy that he has. It's like, shit, every month I have to wear the loose shorts
under a full moon. Yeah.
I mean, it's the whole thing with Cyberpunk is it's sort of post whatever. Like, you can have all sorts of weird body parts and extra modifications and whatever you want, right?
Anyway. Chat, don't follow me down the road I've started. Please don't.
No.
You might end up getting banned. I won't. Anyway.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
I think that's all the stories that we wanted to talk about.
Yes, I said, interesting, so I should explain what I thought was interesting. One of the perks in the game is called Demolition Man, but if your character identifies as female, the name of that perk changes to Demolition Femme, and I want to watch that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like the reboot?
Yeah, that sounds sweet.
Man?
Yeah. There's 4 seashells.
Sorry, I just saw this.
Obviously, the 3 seashells wouldn't work in that circumstance, of course.
Of course.
I just saw this, and I realized we didn't talk about it, and I know we need to do subs, but still, random Smash Brothers fans think they've identified Masahiro Sakurai's couch.
Like they know what
leave this man alone.
Like they know what model of couch he has, or
it's
they know that he has a couch.
It's in the direct, so they're like, "Oh, we see the couch he's sitting on. Time to go find it."
First of all, why? Secondly, good for you. You recognized a couch. That's meaningless. Like, what the? Why? Third, and
put the couch in Smash, I guess.
This is weird, bragging rights. I don't get it. Christ. Anyway,
also it's like recognizing a couch isn't that hard.
Oh.
Well, it's a specific love seat style that's made of white leather that has recliners built into it and stuff like that. It's like it's not like a couchy couch. It just thinks it reminds me of if people were seeing our couches that were in the moon base and were like, I need to find out what couch that is. Everyone help me find out what kind of couch that they have because I want that one too. It's like you just ask us and we'll tell you. But this weird kind of stocky behavior that I always feel like people give Sakurai is
Like my brother works for Wayfair, and some of the tech they have for they've got like artificial or neural network stuff where you can like take a picture of a thing and it will show you like different things that are available that look similar to that. Like that
Ah,
technology exists already.
The one in the moon. I'll tell you, the one in the moon base we got from Article.
mhm.
I'll tell you that right now. You can buy it if you want. They only sell like 7 couches on Article. It won't take you that long to find it. Go for it. Knock
I
yourself
guess
out.
I guess if you have his couch that brings you a little bit, it's like now I'm a little bit closer to understanding the mind behind. I have to immerse myself in the full.
That's still creepy.
I have to immerse myself in the full experience, and then once I can mind meld and understand who will be the next character in Smash.
Article's a Canadian company too, aren't they?
Yes, I think they are.
Yeah. So now you guys can pay customs charges on stuff when you order it off the internet.
Yeah.
Ha!
Eat shit.
What about the Desert Bus driver seat? Is something that Matt got years ago. I have no idea what brand it is or where it's from. I think he got it as a hand-me-down from his parents.
Yeah,
So I don't know anything about it.
it has a long and storied history, even before it became the Desert Bus chair.
Yeah.
These blinds came with my house. I don't know who made them, but they're white and they're made of wood.
And they get real loud if you like rip on them.
Yeah, they sure do. It's one of my favorite parts of them, actually. Hey, maybe
Let's
we should
look
end
it
the
up.
show.
Yeah, let's do that.
I want to thank all you awesome people for joining us for this chill point. Remember to check out the actual checkpoint episode, which will be talking about some of the things that we talked about today. And that will be up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/loadingreadyrun. And that'll be up either tonight or tomorrow morning. And want to thank everybody for supporting us in all the many ways that you do, both here on Twitch and through Patreon and through the YouTube memberships. But in particular, we want to thank all the people who subscribed during this stream, starting with this person, who is Chi7891 for 38 months. Thank you very much.
There we go. And K Small Moon. Oh, God. There we go. Yes, the quality improved all of a sudden on my end. K Small Moon for 10 months. Welcome back.
Let fire rain down for 21 months. Thank you. Welcome back.
Nope, we're okay.
Good. Thank God.
The Beardzilla for 9 months. Happy sub baby. Mecha Beardzilla is really got to worry about.
TXC2 has been here 64 months. That's a binary number. I mean, they're all binary numbers, really.
Lord of the Lights for 41 months. Welcome back.
Seraph Alethea.
Alethea?
Alethea? Seraph Alethea for 25 months. Thank you very much.
Noostus. News twos. I like Noostus. Anyway, you've been here an entire year. Welcome back.
Mr. Q Bear, gifted by Ico and Mog. Welcome and thank you.
Banderbear 91 for 30 months. Thank you.
Anya Zeta has been here for 41 months. Welcome back.
Punisher for 10 months. Welcome back.
Be a very different comic book.
He just like breaks into the evil guy's lair and is like, prepare to be punished. And everyone's like, wait, what? Don't you mean punished?
I'm here to avenge my dead wife.
Arikel Arikel for 68 months. Arikel 68 months. Thank you very much.
Oh, Americat with a big 5 gift to Ashtaranic, Chesul, Cheesecake, Liver Mortis, and Tony Low TV. Welcome to you, and thank you, the Americat.
Devian for 38 months. Welcome back.
Ivalans for 43 months. Thank you very much.
Richard back for 81. We're into the 80s?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. Oh,
yeah.
I feel like I haven't been around when that happened. Well, welcome back, Richards. You've been here a long time. That's a multiple of 9.
Lula Nirisaka for 13 months. Welcome back.
Mirnus for 78 months. Thank you very much.
Just a Conspiracy has been here for 2 years. Welcome back, and congrats on your anniversary.
Unbound Laconicity for 77 months. Welcome back.
Mathonwi for 25 months.
Mathonwi.
Safling returns for the 4th month. Thank you for coming back.
Calatine. Calatine? Calatine. Drink your Calatine. 3 months. Welcome back.
I hope people get that.
Radical Julia for 21 months. Radical.
At least one person got my very tinny word. So this is definitely more of them are going to get drink your Calatine.
That's good. That's good. Stumpanaut, the kind of knot that's scary. 13 months you've been here. It's like an astronaut, but they only go to stumps. Maybe that's more pleasant.
I think they still show Christmas Story like all day long on TNT once a year.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you've never seen A Christmas Story?
Yeah, never seen it. I know all sorts of shit about the Red Ryder BB gun or whatever the hell, and but I've never seen the movie.
It's worth checking out. Cuttlefish Man for 41 months. Welcome back.
Vingris for 10 months. Thank you very much.
TBS does Christmas Story all day. That's what I meant.
And I didn't have cable growing up, so
TBS and TNT are both Turner Broadcasting stations, so
it makes sense that they would be on either or. The Hakofo has been here 45 months, another multiple of 9. Times any number you can find. It all comes back to 9.
It all comes back to 9. Now that's a deep reference. I know all 3 of us get it. Whoa,
yeah.
Whoa, boy. Is this me?
Yep.
Fag Knock for 13 months. Welcome back.
999. Hit magic number 9. Board Gamer 52 is a new subscriber. Welcome.
Flyboy Zeb been here for 17 months. That's a prime number.
SA Icon Jr. for 61 months. Welcome back.
I like the way that whenever Beej makes a claim about a number, Graham has this like,
is it?
Because
is he lying?
It forces me to think about whether or not he's telling the truth. Usually isn't.
I think
that's almost 2 years.
I think he's been telling the truth for most of these ones so far. Anyway,
I mean, I used to be bad for screwing people up with falsities. So yeah.
Chuck Splat for 15 months. Thank you very much.
Annie Laurel got this gift from 3, 2, 1, pants off. Thank you and welcome, Annie Laurel.
Mr. SVCD for 28 months. Welcome back.
50 McNasty for 44 months. Ooh, it's going to be exciting in 6 months.
Oh, yeah. Jack Knoll has been here for 7 months. Welcome back.
Aaron 108 for 44 months. Welcome back.
Gaming Neko Ramona for 40 months. Thank you very much.
Torpor 120 has been here for 35 months. Welcome back.
Mm-mm.
35 months of torpor.
Exactly. Hugs Brozon for 24 months, 2 years from the Hugs Brozon.
Someday we will find the Huggs Brosen
Yeah.
particle. Flowing V for 33 months.
I just realized we don't have the line at the bottom of the screen, so I can't tell how long this is going to go on for.
Oh, I do. I can see it.
I can't see it.
Got to adjust the size of because meat crops things awkwardly.
Great. Okay. The Couch Club got this gift from the Maricat. Welcome and thank you, the Maricat.
Arconic Energy for 45 months. Welcome back.
Sell me your door.
I think I know where you are in the sub welcomes now.
I feel like if somebody comes to your door and attempts to buy your door from you, you should be highly suspicious because they have a vested interest in you not having a door.
Seller door is a nice sounding phrase. Is door seller as nice? Someone who sells doors.
No, because the way your mouth has to move from door to seller. Door seller rather than cellar door. No, it's not as nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay.
But I feel like that's a real scam, Like somebody comes by your house and is like, I will give you $100 for your door. And you're like, wow, I spent $25 on this door. This is a great deal. Sure, I'll sell you my door. And then that night, the guy's buddies come by, rob your place because you don't have a door.
Right, yes.
It's an old scam. Very common.
Me?
I can't remember.
Blind Co. Gifted by the Maricat. Thank you.
Tenet. Gifted by the Maricat. Yeah, we're in on the ground floor for Christopher Nolan's movie that isn't out yet.
Yeah, its streaming account. Oh, for fuck's sake! I can't believe I can't believe you've done this. Bucolic, gifted by the Maricat. Thanks, the Maricat.
I can't believe
what
that
a great gift.
lined up
timing.
for you so well. That was amazing.
I have to figure out how like you subscribe a whole bunch of people with alternate names of bucolic, but every third subscription.
I mean, to be fair, it's a 1 in 3, but
The other Trevor is back for 40 months. Welcome back.
Ninja, gifted by the Maricat.
I mean, I guess the account is still active.
Yeah.
I mean, there's problems with the whole thing with like just redirecting it to bad stuff.
Well, it wasn't. They weren't redirecting it to bad stuff on purpose. They were just redirecting it to other. They were like,
other
Ninja's
Fortnite
not here anymore,
streamers.
so check out other Fortnite streamers, and some of those people were doing things that were shitty. So yeah.
But yeah, I hope. Otherwise, he's going to be like Ninja underscore or something. And get it back.
Ninja 69. Shroud got a gift from the Maricat as well. Welcome to the channel, Shroud. You'll like it here.
Ninja and Shroud are gonna come back to Twitch and be like, "Who the hell am I subscribed to? And also how?"
Mixer. Ooh, gifted by the Maricat. Thank you.
Probably not going to be continuing that subscription.
Yeah.
Probably not. No.
Princess Auto, gifted by the Maricat. Now they have a long-standing subscription. Like I think they've got quite a few months worth of continued subscriptions going on in our account. I think.
I hope that's the. Oh yes.
Oh, hey, look, it's
Ho Chi Minh City.
It's impossible to coordinate on these voice calls, video calls rather. Gifted by the Maricat, thank you.
Also, if you talk at the same time, then neither of your audio comes through.
Oh,
It's time. It's time for.
That's good. I hope you all yelled it at home too, or at work.
I like the way you put you did the thing as if we're sponsored by Ho Chi Minh City.
That would be weird, yeah.
You, Graham.
I did Ho Chi Minh City.
I mean, I did it too.
Oh, fine then. Prancer, the inflatable reindeer for 17 months. Welcome
I mean,
back.
we all did it.
Well, you had Princess Otto. Ho Chi Minh was my turn.
No, Princess Otto was
was me.
Paul's.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I got the whole thing confused. Anyway, thank you, Prancer, the inflatable reindeer. Welcome back.
And thank you for 1,505 bits from Lord Crusher, Moladia. Moladia.
Meladia.
3, 2, 1, pants off. H-Bomb and Friends, and Pharaoh Bender 27. Thank you very much. Yeah, actually, speaking of the thing with the people talking at the same time, that's a thing to avoid echo stuff. And unfortunately, in Google Meet, you can't turn it off. I know there's some meeting things you can turn it off, but there's been various setups that people have come up with for tricky ways to do like collaborative music production over over the internet, over live voice call stuff that is quite like stuff where each person will be like off by a full measure.
Until we can get
instead of doing it like arbitrarily, they make it off by like exactly one measure so that you can kind of join up with each other in a weird way.
Until we can get ISDN lines in everybody's houses, we're going to have to just deal with this.
Yeah. I mean, you need like the rollback thing.
Yeah.
The Bare Naked Ladies have been doing a whole bunch of like sort of playing songs from home, from like independently in their own houses, and then putting it all together into a video. And from watching it, I'm fairly confident that the way that they do that is that it's the drummer that's putting all the videos together, and that he records himself first and sends that track around to everybody else to sync against it. That they're not actually trying to do it live on a video call, because I'm pretty sure that would be impossible.
Well, also you see edits too.
Yes, there is also that. Yes,
like they cut, so obviously it's not being done live.
Yeah.
So. Ian was telling me that apparently in the old days you would have ISDN lines to people's home studios, and that's how they would record stuff. But it would be very low, still latency, but it would be much lower latency because it's very direct and it's a reserve line for you. And so that was a way that they would be able to like have somebody play remotely, so you monitor them and hear them, and you'd be closer. But I have no idea if it actually meant you could still be on the beat with them or not.
That might not actually have been over the internet. Like that might have been actually like a direct connection,
like a point-to-point call. You still have to go through like a switching service, but yeah. Anyway,
coming up in 15 minutes, we've got LRRMTG, where James.
I was going to say that's assuming that Adam can get Arena to update in time.
Oh.
It's apparently their servers are under some amount. I mean, the stream's going live at 2, but their servers are under some amount of load, and he's running it as administrator, restarting the computer. You tune in. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
Anyway, they'll be playing LRMTG, or at least playing a game with the Magic Arena client. That game might be attempting to update the Arena client, but that's a fun game too. It's sort of like one of those like simulator type games. And then tonight, later on, we have Tinker Tailor Solder Fry, where Ian is going to be doing some Gunpla builds.
Oh, nice.
Followed by tomorrow morning, we've got Play It Forward, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Kathleen is jumping back into the Tokyo Mirage Sessions. And from what I understand, things are heating up on the Tokyo. We're coming down to the end game, I think.
Yes.
I mean, things have been fairly spicy anyway, but I believe we are coming down to the end game of Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Yes, that is because as far as I'm aware, she's on near the end of chapter 5, and chapter 7 is very short. So we'll see what happens.
And then tomorrow night we have the Friday night paper fight, where we're going to be playing some Magic and some Commander, and that's going to be paper. So it's going to be Kathleen and Ben Wheeler and Ben Ulmer, and our good friend Jeremy Knoll is going to be joining us on that one. So that will be lots of fun playing the Paper Commander. And then, of course, on Saturday, we've got Loading Ready Live.
Ready live.
Um,
Bum, 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 bum.
that's going to be happening 6 o'clock on Saturday. And then on Sunday, Kathleen's Island Tour will be happening. Going checking out all the fun Animal Crossing islands, and I believe going back to some that she previously went to and have now been fancied up even more.
I believe that is definitely on the table as a future plan. But this week, if I recall correctly, the guests are Dix, moderator from our own chat here, and Olivia Gobert Hicks.
Ooh, nice.
So we'll be
Dix
visiting
and
there.
Hicks.
Yep.
And then more Runner 3 on Rhythm Cafe,
Woo!
where Heather and Ian will be doing the rhythm game thing. And then finally on Monday, we've got more Tokyo Mirage sessions, followed by more Dice Friends. We skipped Dice Friends this Monday because of the PBR, but back with more Over the Edge, and I believe Andy is going to be DMing this one, or
cool.
whatever the Over the Edge equivalent of a DM is.
Storyteller,
game master, storyteller, person who tells other people what they see.
Yeah.
My God, we do a lot of things in a week.
Yep.
So as always, check out loadingreadyrun.com/live. That's got the full schedule as well as links to the calendar and so forth. And if there's anything that you want to see that you missed, youtube.com/loadingreadylive is the replay channel where it's got all the videos or the streams that have happened in the last little while. Thanks, of course, to Heather for keeping that going.
If you want to help support us, by the way, our youtube.com/loadingreadyrun is our main channel, and you can get in on memberships there. You can back us financially through YouTube. You can also back us financially through patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. And of course, here with the Twitch streams and the Twitch bits, or subbing and bitting, I guess you can do that way. But we have a store. And if you like this lovely Loading Ready Run Pride shirt that we have had on the store for the last several months, please go ahead, buy one.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have one. These aren't just ours. These are things you can buy for yourself. Lots of stuff on store.loadingreadyrun.com. And if we're out of your size, put your email address in. We don't use those for nefarious purposes. You'll just get notified when your size comes back into stock.
And those don't go away at the end of the month.
That's correct.
Those are around all the time.
Yeah, because you're around all the time.
It is Pride Month, which is a great time to buy it. But if you can't buy it this month, they'll still be there all the other months. Most of them, well, all 11 other months. They won't be here on the 13th secret month, but that's because nothing happens on that month. It's the secret
March month.
It's the secret month where the entire world gets wiped clean. And
we live that entire month, and then we forget that it ever happened.
Yeah.
The fact that we're talking about it is very on the bubble.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and stay tuned for LRMTG, which will be happening at some point in the next little while. I guess dependent on whether this client gets updated. But anyway. That's for them to figure out. We're going offline.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.